can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Glovebox regular number 18. This is fight card number 18 with the first fight, Jacob De La Rosa versus Dontavius Freedom. And here I'm joined with my good friend, good pal, Owen White. Introduce yourself.
Good evening. I'm Owen Wright from BBC News. We'll see what happens in this fight and how the outcome comes for these future champions.
I really like Jacob. He's a really good fighter. I've been with him multiple times. I've worked with him a couple times. And as you probably already know, I knocked out Dontavius Freedom in the past. So a lot of experience with both of these guys in the ring right here. In this early round, they're just feeling each other out, seeing what they could do to each other, seeing, future game plans. And I think it's going to be a good fight because these two are both really good power punchers. They have really good knockout power. They could put on a show for the fans, and that's what I really like.
Here in BBC, we usually spectate the people like Dontavius. He sure looks like he has a better physique. But however, can you tell us anything about his boxing ability?
His boxing ability, yeah, that's something that is quite overlooked by many. He's a amazing dodger. He likes to dodge punches like you just did right there. His dodging ability is elite. He really knows how to evade those punches. But a lot of the times, for evading the punches, he actually takes a lot of punches in return. So it's like a little bit of a high risk, high reward type of maneuver. As you can see, he's already swelling up in the eyes there. But yeah, he really fights to dodge and counterattack his opponent whenever he gets a chance. Yeah, that was a good punch by Jacob right there. But yeah, he's a solid fighter. But he hasn't really making headlines. He's not making headlines as of late. He's really just been chilling around, But he has been on a losing streak as of late. Ever since he lost to Cash Carter, which is me. He's been on a losing streak, so he's just here to prove himself here tonight.
So he has about 2 losses, if our sources are correct.
I think, yeah, 2 or 3. I think, and Jacob, he's dominating these rounds so far. He's won both of these rounds. He's done very good things. He's hitting the jab right there, hitting the crosses, and look at that uppercut. Like, I love his combination punches the best. Like,
7 hits landed.
Yes, like he has such good combinations. I can't deny it. Like, his combination punching is amazing. Just look at that. 4 hits to the body. Dontavius does not know what to do. Another uppercut. I mean, it's looking like a one-sided fight here, don't you think?
At BBC, we do not understand much about boxing. We usually just scout out players. Cash, you have experience in boxing. Do you know what type of styles these two fighters use?
Yeah, I mean, I think both of them really fight similarly. They both like to work out from the inside. They like to see how the other fighter responds to them inside. And as Jacob scores a huge knockdown on Dontavius in round 3.
A huge knockdown.
Let's see if he gets up from this. He gets up at 4. But as I was saying, they both work from the inside. That's where they're best at. They don't usually go outside. They usually come inside and hit him with the good power punches. But yeah, that's usually what they do. But a huge knockdown from Jacob De La Rosa in round 3. 51% of the shots landed compared to 33% from Dontavius.
Do you think Dontavius can turn this around? It's already the 4th round.
If I'm being honest with you, Owen, I don't think so because, I mean, he's been on a losing streak. I think he kind of lost his craft. He was really good when he started off. He was like a prime Iron Mike Tyson when he started off. He got a good amount of knockouts, but after that, ever since he fought me, I think he just hasn't been the same, I think he can maybe improve a little bit, but as of now, he's on a regression, so I don't think he has a chance of winning this fight, especially with those uppercuts that Jacob's hitting. Fighter's just standing here. Jacob is really good at counter punching, which I love to see. Hit him with a nice hook right there. He's really good at counter punching. He knows what he's doing.
He's taking the fight slowly.
And that's what I like about fighters too. Like, they take their time. They know when to attack. They know when to strike, and that's what I really like about them. as we get to
However,
a
it doesn't
closeout.
seem he landed many punches this round.
Yeah, nah. He only landed 13. Yeah, this is a low-scoring round for both
And he
fighters.
hasn't. Yeah.
As you get into the later half of these rounds here, one really questions if Dontavius can really last this long. I don't know if he can.
It appears fighters tire out in the second half of the match.
Yeah, for sure. Stamina seems to be a huge problem for especially someone like Dontavius who goes crazy with the power punches.
Which of these fighters has a bigger reach?
A bigger reach? I mean, I couldn't tell you that off the bat. You know, I don't really study that type of thing. I mean, I think I could check in the data books right now.
Big uppercut.
Yeah, Dontavius is already backing up. Yeah, I think Jacob's gonna probably get a little swift KO here, I mean, yeah, look, Dontavius is actually doing really good on the defensive end here, so we'll see. I don't think he's gonna get knocked out though.
He started bleeding.
He's already bleeding. Yeah, I think this fight is already in the bag for Jacob De La Rosa. So, and I just checked the data books, and I think both of them actually have a 69-inch reach, which I actually do as well. So all three of us fighters have a 69-inch reach, and I think that's really a good reach to have as this particular fighting style that these guys have.
But what can you tell us from your experience? Does size really matter?
I mean, you know, a little pause there, but I don't think size in the ring really matters because I think I think it's really just about how much power you can pack in those punches. I don't think the reach advantage really matters that much unless you are an outboxer. If you are an outboxer, then yeah, I think it does matter a little bit. But for these guys that fight on the inside, it's actually a little bit better to go with a shorter reach because those shorter hands actually do way much more power. Dontavius is already bleeding again from that left eye and his mouth here. As we go into the later half. Oh my God, he goes with another knockdown. Another knockdown. I don't know if he's gonna get up from this one.
He's getting up.
And that's it. Jacob De La Rosa wins by KO in round 6. What a great fight from this guy. As you look at the scorecards right here, he basically dominated this entire fight. Wow, what a display of power. As we welcome you back to the second fight of the night, Luis Ace Rodriguez Jr. versus Sengfet Kam. You know, Luis, in my personal opinion, is one of my favorite fighters to watch because he's just so quick and dominant when he's given that opportunity. He's very good at landing those combination punches, and he's really good at using his speed to his advantage. I think that's his best trait, is his speed and his ability to really dodge punches and get away from the punches, as he has a huge uppercut right there. Coming to this fight, I really think that Luis is the highly anticipated favorite. I don't think there's anyone in his division, or at least, yeah, I don't think there's anyone in his division that can really compete with him. You know, Pompey Green has issued some statements on social media saying that he could beat Luis Rodriguez Jr. Well, Pompey Green is low-key an idiot, okay? I don't think Pompey Green can beat Luis. Luis is a very dominant fighter. He doesn't really have the knockout power like most fighters do, but where he really dominates is his technical ability. He has one of the best technical abilities in all of Glovebox. He knows how to land those punches, and he knows how to get inside, and he knows how to finish the fight strong. End of round 1, 65% of his shots have landed compared to 32 from Kam. Like I said, he's a very good boxer. He knows how to handle boxers that are even bigger than him. Bigger or smaller, it doesn't really matter. He knows how to handle it.
Luis has a 8-win record with no losses. Is there any chance for Kam to win this fight?
Like I said before, Luis is the highly anticipated favorite. I really do not think he stands a chance, as he's already having some swelling under those eyes. I don't think he stands a chance at all, simply because Luis's ability to hit punches and to wear his opponent out is just unlike anyone I've probably ever seen. Which also makes his fights really entertaining, for me at least. Look at that! Look, you see that one right there? He tried to hit him with a left hook, and Luis just dodged it. You know, he's really hard to hit too. He's not even cut or anything. Lewis is doing great for this fight. Like I said, I think this fight is going to go into the later rounds, which it's going to be a long one. But Lewis is definitely going to win this fight by unanimous decision or even a knockout because he is just that great of a fighter. He's landing really good too. He's landing a lot of punches. So I really think this is going to be a good decision for Lewis.
Lewis recently tweeted on his Twitter to expect Lewis versus Whitenick in the near future. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, that fight, him versus Yednik, or sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. That fight is actually very highly anticipated in Glovebox. I really would love to see that fight. And to be honest, even though I might still have Lewis beating him, I think it's going to be a really, really great fight because Yednik has improved so much over his time from GNG. He has done incredible things. He's won a title for himself now. I think he stands a much better chance than Pompey Green does, in my opinion, in terms of fighting Lewis because, you know, he's also a really good technical boxer, as Semfet Kam is actually going into the ropes here at the end of round 3.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think Lewis might still win that fight because I think he's just that good of a technical boxer that he knows how to work the body, work the jab. He knows how to do all of that, so I really think Lewis is still going to come out on top in that fight.
From the looks of it, Lewis is a boxer puncher, so Lewis has power, stamina, endurance, chin, and speed, and his punches can go high. So, from the looks of it, this fight might already be over.
I mean, yeah, you could argue that it's already over, but like I said, the one thing that Lewis struggles with in his career is just his power. Like, he does not have the best power to put away fights, even though Kam is clearly backing up onto the ropes. It'll take Lewis a while for him to actually knock out his opponent. He can knock him down a couple times, but that's really what he struggles with, is his power. So that's something that I really recommend him to improve on, because if he gets his power down, I'm telling you, he's probably going to be top 5 in Glovebox. And look at him, he already gets a knockdown. Maybe I was wrong. He already improved his power. He already got a secure, nice knockdown. And just look at him. Look at the power and the speed that his punches have. That's one thing I really love about Lewis, like I already said. And Semfet Kam already has 29% health. I really do not think he's surviving any longer. Just an awesome display from Lewis right here. Wow. Just look at that. Look at those dodges that he puts on. Like, he really knows how to evade those punches, and I really love that about him. He loves to use the uppercut too. He loves to use those uppercuts, even though they don't do as much damage as it should. It still gets the job done at the end of the day. And he's already bleeding here. Yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know what Kam's gonna do in order to try and come back from this. I don't think he can come back from this, if I'm being honest with you.
Lasting 12 rounds is really long.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, he's already down again. Gets up at the 4 count. Yeah, lasting that long is very, very, very hard. A lot of people struggle to do that. You know. But yeah, as we get into round 6, what do you think are the predictions for this? Like, how many rounds do you think Kam is gonna last?
I believe Khan is gonna get knocked out actually in the 6th round, just because he hasn't done much damage to Lewis, and Lewis has been saving his stamina, and his health is very good. So I believe he's gonna get knocked out a few times in this round.
I believe the same thing. You know, as we saw, his health is already very low. He's starting to swell up. He was already bleeding. And Lewis, does he not have an iron chin? Because look at, he has no cuts at all, no swelling in the eyes. Like, it's really been such a one-sided fight. Like, oh my gosh, he's not even taking any damage as he gets another knockdown. I think this fight is over. I think this fight is as good as over.
It must be.
but he keeps getting up. Calm, I will admit,
His
Calm
heart.
has a good heart. Calm has a very good heart because he keeps getting up from Lewis's attacks.
Sadly, 40 minutes is a long time.
Yeah, it is a really long time as he gets down again. Let's see if he can get up from this one. The 10 count is issued, and Lewis
That's it.
keeps his title. That was a
That's
great
it.
display from Lewis,
KO.
winning every single round. It's, you know, I think we already expected that to happen. What a great fight from Lewis, honestly. What a great fight. Oh my gosh, Ten Lee looks completely different from what he usually looks like. He's now bald, and his kid is like mustard. He has like a mustard looking outfit. Ten Lee used to have a lot of hair on his head. Now he just looks completely different. You know, Owen, what do you think his mind process was in order to change up his look for this fight?
First off, for those of you who do not know, Thon recently woke up, gets up from his ring. He walked to the tag barber shop, and as you can see, he has no hair on him. He has a fresh new cut, and as he was coming back from the tag barber shop, he shouted everywhere, challenging Juan Ghost to a Turo guy fight. So I think shaving off your head is just your mentality is just stronger. You're totally committed to the fight. As you can see in this round, he's just been going forward.
Of course, yeah, I agree, and it kind of reminds me of Saitama from One Punch Man. You know, he cut his hair off to really focus, to really have that determination. And you know, Christian Arias is not lasting long already. His eyes are already swollen in round one. Tenley's power is just incredible. But yeah, you know, his new fit, questionable. I mean, I like the color scheme. I like he's matching and all, but you know, kind of reminds me of like a little mustard. But it does remind me of One Punch Man. So if that is the style that he wanted to go for, you know, I think he got it. I think he got it on lock. But you know, speaking of Tan Lee, you know, I really respect the guy. You know, me being Cash Carter, you know, we've had a lot of encounters before. We've talked a lot. You know, and I could really say that I respect him as a person. I respect him, you know, and he's really funny. He has like one of the best humors in Glovebox. He's really funny. And you know, he's experienced. He's one of the most experienced fighters that I've ever seen. He's been in the ring for a very, very long time. He's been dominant for a while. He's taken a lot of losses, but those losses have really made him a stronger person in the ring, and that's what I really respect about him. As Christian Arias is just getting pounded and pounded every single round that he's in with Tan Lee. You know, he's winning this round. He's winning all these rounds. What do you expect the outcome to be in this fight, Owen?
Well, considering that Thon somewhat mastered his rear uppercut, I believe he could easily finish this round. He's not taking many hits. He's still moving forward. He's doing crazy combinations,
Yeah.
and his uppercuts are just stunning. Just stuns the opponent and pushes him even back.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. His power is just immense. You know. He knows how to put fights away early. You know, speaking about putting away fights early, tomorrow, Sunday, 4 p.m. EST, we have one of the biggest anticipated pay-per-views in all of Glovebox. You know, we have Dynamo versus Genki 3 as Tan scores a knockdown here. You know, you and me that have both seen the Dynamo versus Genki series, what do you think is going to be the outcome of tomorrow's fight?
I can't really say because each time I watch the fight, it just stunned me to the point of wanting more. And
Me too, yeah.
to have the opportunity to see the third fight, I can't say a thing. I'll just see how it goes and enjoy the fight like everyone else.
Yeah, man. I mean, I agree to an extent, but you know, those fights that's probably one of the best trilogies in Glovebox history. You know, the first fight, Genki just dominated. Nobody expected him to win. Everyone thought that he was going to lose, but he in fact won. Everyone was shocked when he won that first fight. And the second fight, it really looked like the same thing. it looked like Genki was going to outmaneuver Dynamo. However, Dynamo had a very good strategy. He outlasted him as Tanley scores another knockdown. This fight is over basically. You know, and I think Dynamo is really a good fighter when it comes down to the later rounds of the fight, as he proved in his second fight. So the third fight, I'm really just excited to see what's gonna happen. I think it could go to any of those fighters. They both have been working hard. Both have been, you know, in the gym lately as non-stop, you know. So I'm really excited to see that fight. Tan Lee, on the other hand, wow, he is landing so many punches. He's already making his opponent bleed. I think this fight is over, as good as over, just as Lewis's fight was.
Bleeding in the first half, that is not a good sign, I can tell you.
Yeah, not at all. As we approach the end of round 4, let's see if he can score a knockdown here. I think he's going to knock him down in this next round that's coming up. I don't think Christian can survive this long with Tan Lee's presence.
Tan is just a legend. You have to admit.
Of course, yeah. When he retires, he'll definitely be in the Hall of Fame for sure, no doubt. Tan Lee's impact on the sport of boxing has been immense. It's been incredible, and I've loved to talk with that guy. Everything about him is just amazing. He's an amazing person in general. His boxing career is amazing, even with all the losses. It's just amazing. As he gets another knockdown, I don't know if he's gonna even get up from this one. And that's it. Knockout.
Absolute menace. Absolute menace.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. A good knockout from Tan Lee to put him away. As we're bringing you this next fight from Adrian the Can Man Boner versus Ricardo Gonzalez. You know, Owen, I don't know if you really know Adrian that much because he's been in G&G for most of his career, which is actually a smart path to do, but, you know, it doesn't get you much recognition. What do you know about it?
From what I know about Boner, Boner, Broner,
Okay.
From what we know is on the fan rankings, he's around the top 10 fighters from G&G. So we do not know much, but we sure believe that he can win this fight against Ricardo Gonzalez.
Yeah, and you know, you being from BBC, I think you've done your research on Ricardo Gonzalez. You know, how is he as a fighter compared to others?
Well, he's a new fighter. He does not have a good enough record. We won't say he's a new fighter, but he surely hasn't mastered any skills, to be honest. He can push his opponents back to the rope, but it's not really something that he can finish.
Yeah, I agree. He's not really that well known. He hasn't really proven himself at all. So I think you know, I think Broner, I think he has this one in the bag. You know, but speaking about having things in the bag, tomorrow, the pay-per-view, me versus Alfred Oxoa, you know, one of a very highly anticipated matchup, one that has been talked about for about a month now. You know, I gotta be confident in myself and say that I'm gonna win, but you know, if Alfred, you are listening, I will say that you are my toughest opponent to date. You know, you're gonna give me a tough challenge, and I know it. I know it's gonna be a tough fight. You, Owen White, what do you think the outcome is gonna be of that fight, of me versus Alfred?
I'm gonna be a bit of bias on my part, but I believe you, Cash, can finish this fight off. You have a great record, and I do not believe you're gonna lose the next fight. You have a lot coming to you.
Then you know, that's not scripted, guys. So that was real words from the man himself, Owen White. Yeah, you know, Alfred is a good opponent. You know, the Alfred versus Estock 2 fight is probably the greatest fight in Glovebox history, going all 12 rounds, or 10 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. Going all the rounds, going the distance. That Alfred versus Estock fight is just a legendary fight. Many people, including Alfred, say that he was robbed. You know, Owen, I don't think you have much experience with that fight. I don't think you really watched that fight, but what can you say to people who think that Alfred should have won that fight?
Sadly, we at BBC, we mostly cover on fighters' backstory, so we can't really say much about that fight.
Okay. Okay.
But
That.
what
Yeah.
what we can say is about Adrian Boner, uh,
Adrian Broner.
Adrian Boner. Yeah, he's an 18-year-old fighter. He's known as the Lil Brother or the Can Man.
Mm-hmm.
He is full of energy, hyperactive, and profoundly cocky.
Mm-hmm.
But a little bit about his backstory. We're gonna talk about it in the next round.
Yeah. I haven't really spoken with Adrian that much. I don't know much about that guy. I know he's a good fighter. Obviously, he's undefeated. He has not lost a fight. So obviously, he has talent. Obviously, he possesses immense skill to even make it this far, to have a WBO title in his hands. I congratulate him for that. Um, but yeah, his backstory. I really do not know where he's from, and since you guys are the specialists over there, what can you tell me about Adrian growing up?
So Adrian Boner, he's a flamboyant Cincinnati native. He picked up boxing when he was 6 years old. It said the sport saved him from a life on the streets, and not confirmed, but as an amateur, Boner racked up a record of 309 to 19. So he won 300 fights and lost 19 fights,
Wow.
winning the national silver gloves in 2002 and 2003. Broner, also earned a bronze medal at the 2005 National Junior Olympics. So he has some big backstory.
Yeah, he has a lot of experience, and Owen. You gotta learn his name. It's Broner, okay, not Boner, but anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, that amateur background is super impressive. Which, I mean, it makes sense carrying on to what he's doing right now, undefeated. It makes sense. He was such a good amateur fighter. And that's tough. Living in the street, getting away from the street life. I can't relate to that, but I know a lot of people around the world can relate to that. Waking up in the morning, maybe not having breakfast on the table, and maybe not having stable parents. And that's where humble beginnings start. That's where a person, a man, starts to form inside of you. That's where something sparks inside of you to get out of that life. And that's what I really like about Adrian, that he strayed away from that life. He found boxing, and he's here on this stage today. I really like that.
Boner can most likely.
Broner. Hey man, it's Broner. Okay, put some respect on his name. As he gets a knockdown right here, see, he must have heard us. He must have heard us, because he just got
He
a
will
knockdown
most
right here.
likely become a Hall of Famer.
You said what?
Boner will most likely become a Hall of Famer with
Yeah,
that backstory.
I think he can. They both landed 51% of their shots in that round. I think he can. I think he could be a Hall of Famer. The only thing is, he needs to fight very worthy opponents for that to happen. He needs to fight more, just better competition in general. But I think he'll get there. He'll definitely get there. And speaking about that, another pay-per-view matchup tomorrow that we have is Riku versus Yidnik for the title unification. What do you think about that fight? Do you think Riku will come out on top with the more experience, or do you think Yidnik will pull the upset?
Well, Riku with his wife, Wyatt here, he reminds fans, oh, that was an absolute hitter.
That was a great knockout.
Riku definitely reminds fans of fictional character Killua, and his skills are just on top. So we believe he's gonna win. Everyone does.
Yeah, that's a good statement. As Adrian Boner puts down Ricardo Gonzalez. What a great knockout, and honestly, what a dominating fight from him. For this next fight, we have Tyrese, left hand of Hell Crawford. Tyrese, man, where do I start with this guy? My father, Cassius, knew his father, Antonio Crawford. And my dad has told me over the years that the Crawford family, which this is actually 100% true, are heavy trash talkers. They love to talk smack to their opponents. Even to people that are in their same gym, they love to talk trash. Owen, what do you say to people who talk trash to their opponent? What do you think their goal is when they do that?
I believe trash talk is mostly releasing some stress because keeping everything quiet is just, I believe, not a good thing. It's not really entertaining. It
Hmm.
doesn't give you any recognition. So I believe Tyrese is trying to do that, and if he's trying to promote his LA Fighting Club, where he mastered his rear hooks as well, is through that trash talk. To be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see where you're coming from. Round one, Luis Hernandez is already on the ropes. What a performance already from Tyrese. But one thing about Tyrese is his power it can't be overlooked. Honestly, his power can even be comparable to someone like Mines, Dynamo Genki. He has amazing power. Just the one thing that I really just am weirded out about is Tyrese really is on my schmeat. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the times he would comment, Cash Carter is the best. It's a little deriding there, but I respect Tyrese though. I respect Tyrese. He's a good guy when he wants to be. Because a lot of the times he really is just a heavy trash talking guy. But I respect him as a fighter because he always wants to fight good opponents. He always wants to look for that challenge. Because at this point in his career, nobody has really given him that challenge that he really wants. Maybe later in my career, I'll go down. He might come up and we could fight because I know that he loves fighting opponents that are strong, opponents that could really take him to that next level. But yeah, he's a good fighter, a great fighter, in fact. He might be a little reckless sometimes. He might just throw a lot of punches, maybe not land as many punches, but when he does land those punches, they hurt bad. It reminds me a lot of my style, where I might not land as many punches, not be as accurate, but when I do land those punches, it's very accurate.
Tyrese, even though he's a big trash talker, his confidence is really up,
Mhm.
and I believe through all these reckless, which you will say, punches, it makes him confident,
Mhm.
and it just pushes him forward.
Yeah.
He has a 9-0 record. This is gonna be his 10th fight, so it surely is doing something.
Yeah, and he also comes from G&G, another great fighter that G&G produced as he gets a knockdown here, his first knockdown of the night. G&G is really the place to develop these young fighters, I believe. What do you say to people that want to join G&G before joining the actual Glovebox? Do you think it's a good idea?
I absolutely believe it's a good idea. You can find some good upcoming fighters in the G&G.
Mm-hmm.
However, people tend to fight some fighters who do not have the right mentality. But if you're really looking for a challenge, there is some great fighters in the G&G
Mm-hmm.
who will, as we did interviews with them, they will gladly fight each week. So I believe G&G is a great place. We strongly suggest to watch their fights and for new fighters to join G&G.
Yeah, okay, I agree. And one last question is, you said that G&G is a great place. You've been looking at the fighters. Which fighters have you been looking at in G&G? Tell us some future prospects, some future stars in this league.
Well, one eye, our eyes have caught Ajala. We
Okay.
believe even though he doesn't win every single round, he manages to finish the fight by knockouts.
Mm-hmm.
His strength is up, his endurance is up, his stamina, everything is up.
Yeah, and he recently beat Tyler Dynamite, who had previously 1-0-0 record. I actually saw that fight with Jala. He's a great fighter. I really would wish to talk to him someday. Maybe train him. Yeah, G&G is really a place for humble beginnings. Humble beginnings from start to end. It's a really good program. Me, Cash Carter, I was in there for 5 fights. You know, I use those fights to get my first title, to get my IBF cruiserweight title. It's a great place for young fighters to develop. Luis Hernandez is really in a predicament here. He's already bleeding and he just got knocked down again. This is an easy fight for Tyrese. I think I'm seeing a knockout either here or the next round. You know, there's no chance. There's no chance for Luis.
He's pushing him on the ropes already, so the fight is already done.
Yeah, it basically is already over. There's no hope for Luis Hernandez in this fight. Another knockdown. I think he's probably gonna stay down in this one. He gets back up, actually. He surprised me there. One more knockdown, though, and a TKO will commence. Can Tyrese finish the job, or will it take the next round for him to do it? Let's see. It looks like it's going to go on to round 6. The second half of the fight, Tyrese has a little bit of cut damage, but not as much as Luis Hernandez. Luis Hernandez is struggling with his chin. His chin is probably very weak. You know, he can't take that many punches. He's black. He already has a black eye. You know, but he's still fighting. You know, I commend people who still fight, who don't give up. He's not giving up. He keeps getting up every time Tyrese knocks him down. You know, I really like that.
Tyrese recently stated that Boner is king of combat sports.
Yes, yeah.
Boner, yeah. We're gonna ask Tyrese after this fight about that statement. So,
okay, sure, but yeah, Tyrese with a swift knockout victory, as everyone expected him to get. What a fight for Tyrese Crawford. This next fight, we have Rupert Hawkeye Hawksby versus Borna Longcar. You know, Rupert. I know of him. I know who he is. I know who he is as a fighter. And, you know, he also came from G&G, humble beginnings from G&G. And like I said, it's a great program because as soon as he left as well, he got his own title. He got his WBC. You know, I really like that. I really like that. He's grinding. He's doing good. And he's proving to the world right now why he's a good fighter. He's a fighter that deserves some respect.
Rupert is a world champion in the WB. He's a WBC champion.
Yep.
So meaning he's a great fighter despite Borna Longcar, who's from Croatia. He also has a great record.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think? How is this fight gonna go?
Well, Rupert, he does not have much power, unfortunately. But he like Lewis, has really good technical ability. You know, he knows when and how to throw punches. He's quick and agile, he's speedy. And he really knows how to capitalize on his opponent's mistakes. So, you know, I think he's definitely gonna win this fight. I think he can win this fight. However, the question is when he's gonna win this fight.
Rupert is a part of the Dragon Warriors gym. So far he's been hitting his lead uppercuts around like 2 or 3 per round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually. Yo, what's up? You were finished? What's up?
I just wanted to ask you. Recently we have been investigating your situation as well, Cash. Neil, apparently your son, has been talking about you. I just want to know your statement. I assume you're informed about his statements.
Yeah, of course. Neil Williams, man, where do I start with that guy? You know, he claims to be my son. You know, he keeps calling me daddy all over social media, and I'm just like, dude, what are you talking about? I think when he was sparring with Nas, he might have just got a realization that I was his father, but I don't know where he would do that, like where he would think that, unless he's the son of my baby mama Vonquisha Williams. You know, I don't think that's the case, to be honest, because I don't think I have children, but he tries to think that I'm his father when I'm really not. You know, all the time he's like, "Are you proud of me? Are you proud of me?" And I'm just like, I mean, you're doing good, yeah, but like, I'm not your father, you know. And I just don't want things to escalate further. I don't think I'm his father. That's really the end of the story, you know. He just needs to stop being annoying. he's being really annoying about it, saying that I'm his father, but I don't think that's the case. So that's where that ends right there. Yeah.
So that's where it ends. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. What?
Um,
Yeah.
Borna was hitting some great combinations.
Mhm.
You might not know. He's from Croatia. He used to be a basketball player before he joined boxing.
Oh, really? What position do you
However,
play?
he was a small player, and because he's small, but he hasn't really been familiar with the rules. You know, in basketball, he always steps on the line,
Okay.
goes out of bounds, and boxing was more of his style. So
Mhm.
his father actually uh, showed him boxing, and he seems a promising future. However, Rupert is kind of dominating this fight with his skills and lead uppercuts. So
Yeah, of course, I agree. And Rupert being from the Dragon Warriors gym, which is actually where I got my humble beginnings from. Dragon Warriors is a great program. You know, I love those guys to death, except for Pompey Green. I love everyone else there. Dragon Warriors is really a top gym now. Towards the later end of my career, I'm gonna definitely return back and get them some championships, get them some titles there. But yeah, Dragon Warriors is just an amazing gym overall. They work hard. Those guys that work hard. We have very young fighters too. Like a lot of young fighters are joining, and we're teaching them a lot of basics. We're teaching them how to jab correctly, lead uppercut correctly. As Rupert gets the knockdown, we're teaching them a lot of
Rupert's
things. You know.
Rupert's in-fighter skills are just pushing the opponent back round by round. You might not see it, but he's doing a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's like I said. You know, this type of fighting style, you don't expect to get much knockdowns, but wow, you saw that too, right? That hook is dangerous. That hook is dangerous.
A quick hook,
Yeah,
a dodge, and
that reminds me a little bit of Ryan Garcia. You know, Ryan Garcia has a quick hook. That's what he just showcased right here. You know, but yeah, like I was saying, you know, Dragon Wars is a great gym for young fighters. You know, and it really shaped Rupert Hawksby into the person he is today. And yeah, and speaking about Borna, you know, switching from basketball to boxing is a very tough transition. You know, I can understand where people are coming from when, you know, transitioning to the sport into another. It can be difficult, you know, learning the rules, learning new play styles, learning how to fight. You know, it's a tough transition. So I'm glad that Borna is finding solace in you know, learning how to fight. As Rupert is already dominating, he's already making Borna bleed. I think a knockout's coming. I think a knockout's coming in like round 6, 7, maybe 8. He can't last that long. What do you think?
absolutely not. As you said, Rupert, part of the Dragon Warriors gym, his in-fighter skills are just the later in the round it gets, he's just dealing way more damage and great combinations by dodging and
Yeah, of course. And Rupert is it's such a humble fighter too. Like, you don't really see him on social media talking a lot. You don't see him, you know, talking trash to other players. Not at all. You know, what a knockdown as well. Good jab to the body. You know, you don't see him doing that because he's such a humble guy and he knows his place and he knows that he doesn't need all that to prove that he's the best. And that's what I really love about him. You know, he's dominating this fight already. Borna's bleeding. He's on the ropes. Let's see if he can capitalize on the knockout. Another knockdown. Let's see if he can get up from this one.
Rupert not ashamed to take the hit,
Of
a
course.
sacrifice just so he can land another knockdown.
Of course. And one more knockdown and the fight is over. Let's see if he can get it this round or not. Borna doing pretty good on the defensive end. Landing some good punches. He's being a little reckless, but that's it. The fight is over. That's a TKO victory for Rupert Hawksby in round 6. What a great fight. I'm excited to see what this guy can do in the future. I really like that fight. Welcome back, everyone, and we are at the main event. Hewitt versus Sebastian Diaz. these two have been talking a lot over social media. Um, talking trash to back and forth. But Jun Hyun is actually very quiet, a very quiet person. Does not really like to talk that much. He doesn't. He really stays in his own lane. Something that I can respect because he's not out here trying to clout chase or start some unnecessary beef. He's really just calm and collected. You feel me? And that's how he got this main event. He works hard. He works hard behind the scenes. He doesn't need to show it all over social media that he's working hard. He doesn't need to show any of that. He knows that he's working hard every day in the gym. Yeah, he's a respectable fighter, and I'm excited to see what he can do in this fight.
He is definitely landing good combinations as this round is ending. We don't know much about his current life, but we will tell you more about his backstory in the next round.
Okay, cool. 62% of the punches, accurate. Very, very accurate fighter. Yeah, but of course, Owen, tell us a little bit about his backstory. How is he like as a person?
Jun Hyun, he's an 18-year-old fighter with a southpaw stance. As you already mentioned, he's a quiet person, really inconspicuous. Um, in his professional career, in his backstory, we couldn't really find much. But in his career, in his fighting, he has 7 wins and 1 loss with 4 knockouts. So what I can tell you is he was born in Busan. He had an unremarkable life so far. He's quiet and doesn't like confrontation, so he has made no attempt to make friends his entire life, and has probably even in the boxing league so far.
Yeah.
He's a really collected person with his family. Outside of his family, no one remembers who he is. Not even his graduating class of high school could tell you anything about him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've talked with him a little bit. At one point I joined his gym, his fundamentals of boxing gym. And yeah, it really does fit his style because nobody really goes to that gym. It's really just him. And that's low-key a nice feeling, having a gym all to yourself. Nobody can tell you what to do. You are in your own zone. And that's what I really like about him. The few times that I got to speak with him, he's been really nice to me, And I could tell that he's been a little separated from everyone. But to be honest, I really enjoyed his company while I was in Fundamentals of Boxing gym. Speaking of that, Cassius Carter actually had a poster for Fundamentals of Boxing gym when he first joined this program. So my dad has been in that gym before. I think he knows of Jun Hyun. He hasn't been in there for a while, but he knows of Jun Hyun. And he's a good guy, and I'm excited to see what he can do for his career, even if he's so quiet. He reminds me of Kawhi Leonard in basketball, if you know who that is. Kawhi.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a laid back guy. He doesn't talk much, but he gets the job done. What do you think about the comparison? Do you think it's accurate?
I think it's very accurate. But before I say, I'd like to mention that Jun Hyun is dealing a great amount of damage to Sebastian Diaz.
Oh, of course. Yeah, Sebastian is already swollen. But yeah, what were you saying?
So you asked me about us. I would strongly agree that he likes to spend his time alone. He has no siblings, and his parents are constantly working, as we know.
Mm-hmm.
So Jean was home alone the majority of the time. What we know during his time at home, John did only 3 things. He studied, exercised, and played video games.
Mm-hmm.
As he stated, that's all he knew. So when he was free from high school, instead of taking the placement exams to get into universities, he decided he would change it up. After playing fighting and beat 'em up games for all that time, Jean said he get an interest in martial arts. He applied to get a boxing license, and now hopes to make some money before eventually going to the university. So I believe he's gonna stay quiet. He's not the guy that's gonna entertain you with his life, but he definitely will entertain you with his boxing skills.
Yeah, of course. And, that's kind of a fear that I have with someone like Jun Hyun and like Kawhi Leonard, like I mentioned, is when their career is over, when it is inevitably over, we probably won't never hear from them again. Because those quiet people, they like to stay in their own lane, they like to do their own things, and they don't really communicate. So, it'll be sad once Jun Hyun retires, but I don't think that's gonna come anytime soon. But yeah, I'll definitely come and visit him a lot of times because he's I respect him so much. One of the most respectable fighters in Glovebox. He stays in his own lane, like I've already mentioned. But yeah, let's talk about this fight, man. He's really just doing amazing. He's landing good punches. He's throwing a little bit of the body shots. He's throwing those uppercuts really well, and he's keeping his guard up, which a lot of fighters actually struggle with. That is keeping their guard up a lot of times. As you can see, they're only 15% cut damage through 6 rounds. Like, how impressive is that? Keeping your guard up, not letting people hit you. That's something that a lot of fighters need to learn, don't you think?
Absolutely. However, as you said, John spent his time in the fundamentals of boxing gym. He has great lead hooks, but I don't know if most of you heard is not really a big statement. It's known that he would like for people to join the fundamentals of boxing gym. No one is there, and he stated that he is sad, but yeah,
Another
he's
knockout.
knocking people down. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish him the best. Because spending that much time alone it's not healthy, to be honest. He needs to be more social, I feel, because we're humans, we're people. We need to socialize in order to function. He's doing good for himself, but I really worry for him sometimes. I hope he's doing okay. But
Yes, just quickly, he has stated in an interview that during his rituals, he has seen the ghost of Cassius Carter there, and he has helped him train.
Ghost of Cassius Carter? Oh, heck no. I already told Tan Lee that there is no ghost. Cassius Carter is still alive. He's still watching me fight. But I think that wraps it up for today's events.
Absolutely.
Great job from
great
Jun Hyun. Great job from all the fighters that fought today. It's been a good card, and I hope that everyone can tune into the pay-per-view tomorrow. Tomorrow it's gonna be stacked. It's gonna be a good pay-per-view, and I'm Cash Carter, and I'm here with
Owen White
and
from BBC.
Yep, and it's been a great night. Thank you all for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. We're out.